have very selflessly devoted this week to exploring Iceland and trying all the local foods so that I could talk to you about them. Hello, today we are having dinner at Hotel Budir, which is also where I'm staying. And I just quickly wanted to show you the view. It has nothing to do with food, but it's very Icelandic. Look at that church right there. Many travelers overlook Iceland as a culinary destination because their food isn't well known abroad, and I hope this video will show you just how unique and interesting Icelandic food can be. One dish you might already be familiar with is skyr. It's a sour milk cheese reminiscent of Greek yogurt that has been an Icelandic staple since the times of the Vikings. I'm a big fan of this place. Not only is it incredibly cozy, it also has an interesting history. It was revived in the 1960s by local hippies, who were some of the first people here in Iceland to really pioneer that farm-to-table movement. And we're checking back out. She and I have gone on a little hike to the local black church to work up an appetite because we're going to be eating a lot in this video. We have a lot of food spots to get through. Oh yeah! Okay, right now we have sat down for pancakes. We're at this gorgeous little tea hut, coffee hut, and these are very traditional here in Iceland. I know normally you associate crepes like this with France, but these are slightly different, and inside you literally just have sugar. They're very, very plain, but super tasty, especially with this view.
So we're here at the Djúpalónssandur, which is an old fishing harbor, and to the side of it we have Reykjavik, which was one of the major fishing ports here in the olden days, with up to 300 boats.
These stones here on the floor are used to determine whether you're strong enough to be a fisherman. Oh! Yay! It's really not impressive, thank you. Not even a sweat. After that heroic attempt, I recovered with a can of Collab, which is a popular collagen-enriched drink. And this collagen is derived from wild-caught Icelandic cod. The local diet, as it turns out, is very, very heavy on fish. And this family-owned restaurant was hands down my favorite of the entire trip. We had langoustine soup, a fillet of cod with a creamy barley risotto, and tried an Icelandic white ale.
Oh, I would drink beer more if it tasted like this.
It's light, it's interesting, yeah.
It's light. It's like an IPA, but then towards the end you've got like a medicinal herb kind of aftertaste.
This right here is licorice creme brulee, which is unusual to say the least. This, by the way, isn't like an Icelandic specialty, it's a specialty of this particular restaurant. Excuse me, I'm dribbling. That was good.
My name is Thora Olsen, and I live in this area, and I'm volunteering here to run this museum. Otherwise, we live from a small fishing boat. My husband goes out fishing. The fishing is from the early age in Iceland. It's the main industry in this peninsula, in all the towns here in Snæfellsnes and all around Iceland.
Do you have like a favorite fish dish?
The fish soup I make. It's very popular and we like it a lot.
We've heard about it. We tried a tiny bit and they said everyone has a different recipe.
Yeah, everyone has a different recipe.
What's your secret?
I put the cheese in it.
Oh, do you have a special Icelandic cheese?
Yeah, it's like a cream cheese.
Yeah.
And I use a lot as well, camembert. You know camembert?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's very interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. Okay, I'm glad I asked. Thank you so much. Tack.
You're welcome.
We're also here to explore a fish factory and see what it looks like on the inside. You can really tell that it's a fish factory. Very interesting. I feel like in our everyday lives we're so far removed from where our food actually comes from. So being here inside this factory, being out on the fishing boat is fascinating because yes, obviously we kind of get the gist of how fish are caught and how they're prepared, but actually seeing it feels very different. What I'm about to show you has literally nothing to do with food, but it is one of the most famous mountains in Iceland, and we're just driving past it. So here's a little bit of stuff. That right there is called Kirkjufell. It means Church Mountain, and I was actually here about 4 years, maybe more, maybe 6, more like 6 years ago, and my friend and I actually climbed it, just kind of rocked up after sunset, and we were about 20, and we just thought, it's great, it's safe. We survived, so it was a good adventure. If we hadn't survived, it would have been a funny newspaper headline. We've arrived at our next restaurant, which has beautiful views over Kirkjufell. And I'm already in love with this place. I haven't tried any of the food, but one of the waiters was chatting to me.
We just eat the testicles.
That you do actually, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't had the honor yet.
No, but it's. I thought it was bad.
Yeah?
I think it was almost 45 or something. No, 25-ish. When I had the first pint of sheep testicles. Yes. And then
Changed man?
I haven't eaten it since. Like.
Okay, so you're not selling me on it.
I stopped drinking, and then it's no fun.
If you're looking for a restaurant with good vibes, you honestly can't do much better than here. The staff were incredible. I laughed the entire time I was there. And yeah, I mean, it did help that they plied us with booze, but even without it, just so good. Again, very, very generous portions of seafood, locally caught fish, langoustines. But then, after a lovely dessert of blueberry ice cream, came a challenge: fermented shark and Brennivin.
It's poison. People loved it, and they were just like, yay!
And became drunks.
2, 3.
No, just like no. Be open-minded. Open-minded.
I'd say that's like a 2 out of 10. And a 2 out of 10 isn't that bad. Yeah. Good morning from my little Icelandic village. I'm literally staying in a tiny house on the hill, and this is about 2 minutes from my hotel. This morning we have very cool plans. We are going to be learning how to properly prep and butcher fish, and in order to learn how to do that, we are going to be meeting one of the best chefs of any kind here in Iceland. His name is Viktor. I'm very excited to meet him. Shu is currently wrangling with the fins. I got this big boy. This is an Icelandic cod. And my next task, which I might need to cut the camera for, is decapitating it. This is the part that we're actually gonna cook. You don't realize how cold fish are because they keep them in ice. My hands have like mild frostbite. For the time being, that is my education done. I did an okay job, not that good. But I am still gonna be rewarded with lunch at the restaurant. This place, probably my second favorite of the entire trip. Right here is Arctic char tartar. That is very hard to say. And just wow, they serve it with dill apples and horseradish mayo. It's a pretty spectacular. My friend Ed also taught me how to eat mussels with mussels. Look. Pretty cool. As if we haven't had enough food today, we are gonna go to a local's house to try a fish stew that is really traditionally Icelandic. People here eat it like 2-3 times a week apparently, especially when they're children. Okay, let's go knock.
My grandfather told me how to do it. I use salt and pepper that he didn't, so it's much better now. But luckily he has never tried it. He passed away a few years ago, so he didn't have to really try it.
Yeah. You gonna bite me?
Hi. Welcome to another episode of Fish for Dinner in Iceland.
Everything is from our bay here. Fresh scallops, some crab, and black back seagull. The eggs.
So this is sea urchin. I've never had it before.
It's an acquired taste, so let's see if I acquire it. This is a very sweet one. It's quite mild, this one.
That's not my favorite thing that I've had.
I'll have yours.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Our next stop, good morning by the way, is a gorgeous restaurant in a harbour relatively close to Reykjavik. I may have had a little too much wine last night, and it wasn't even Icelandic. What am I doing? So excuse me if I'm low energy, but I am very excited for this restaurant, genuinely. Would particularly recommend this location to families with children because they have some great things around here. There is a really nice playground and also a toy museum, which personally I found very, very creepy, but it's interesting. There's even a museum upstairs inside the restaurant, and it's set up like a giant living room. It's very nice. Okay, this is going to be controversial. What I'm about to try right here is a horse. I know it seems a little bit strange to most of us probably, but this is traditional and I'm happy to try. It's disappointing how good that tastes. Really very good. Very tender. Doesn't have a strong flavor or anything. And Comes with mushrooms and root vegetables. Our final evening in Iceland and we're off to our final restaurant. I have eaten so much this week that I'm genuinely concerned about what I'm going to be able to do with this meal, but you know I'm going to put my best foot forward. One thing I always like to do when traveling is try local soft drinks, and Appelsien was delicious. It's a fizzy, orange flavored soda, a lot like Fanta. The chef put together a great tasting menu. The shellfish soup with fennel and whipped cream was super creamy. I loved it. One dish you definitely have to try, by the way, is the happy marriage cake, as it's known. It's nothing crazy, oatmeal and flour in the base and a rhubarb jam filling, but it's very good. So that was last night. This is our final morning, and I thought there is no better way to spend it than sampling all the pastries that Reykjavik has to offer. You literally will not be able to move for bakeries, and we are starting with a really popular one, Brown & Co. I went a little bit rogue. I got a raspberry croissant. Very, very curious about this. Not really what you picture when you think of a croissant, is it? Very good. Ed, what have you got?
It's chili mayo cheese in a bread dough.
Mmm.
It's actually not as like cheesy or creamy as it sounds or looks, but it's actually very fluffy.
Okay.
Delicious.
I hadn't expected Icelandic bakeries to be quite this good, although I think that was a bit silly of me because Iceland has very, very deep ties to Denmark, having only declared its independence from it in 1944, and Denmark is known around the world for its pastries. I mean, hello, Danish. So yeah, Iceland right up there. And that's it for me today. This seemed like the perfect spot to finish the video. This is the most famous church in all of Reykjavik, all of Iceland really. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this foodie tour. I know I have. As always, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye!